Hi, Don Minasi here. Yesterday I made an 8-minute video on what I call 5-1 substitutions. And it was good, but I left out some things and I want to extend it today. If you're in school, they call it subdominance. But when I was a kid, 22, 23, I called it 5-1. And the reason why I call it 5-1 is 5 chords are introductory chords. Now, of course, you're used to doing this, D minor 7, G7 to C major 7. That's 2-5-1. Well, after the 2, you go to a 5, G7, but you can reintroduce that G7 with another 5 chord. And I have to maintain the key integrity. So I have a F here, I'm going to put an F here. D7, sharp 9 to G7, C major 7. Now, I also can do other types of substitution. I have D minor. Instead of playing a D7 or a D9, G13, C6, 9, I'm going to use a flat 5 substitution on the D. I'm playing A flat 13th with the F, D flat 9 for the G7. So it's a very important concept, because if you're playing and the chords are D minor 7, G7, and even without the substitutes, what I played on was D minor 7, A flat 7, D flat 9, and C6 9 of C major 7. So also you can, there's the minor third substitutions. So D minor 7 to D9 to F9. So I could do bum, bum, to D flat 9 to C. There's another way. D minor 7, F9, and for the G, go B flat 13 to C. That sounds really nice too. So even if somebody's not playing substitutions behind you, you could, in your improv, you can take those you can play through those substitutions, and it works. So what I give my students is, I take a C scale. Now, that C scale can be done in triads. And 1 chord is C, 2 chord is D minor, 3 chord is E minor, 4 chord is F, 5 chord is G, 6 chord is A minor, and then 7 chord is B diminished, and then we have C. Now, if I were to do it in root position, I would have this: C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. Now, that's a true C scale in triads, but when you listen to it, it really doesn't have that root note on them. So this is root position. I'm going to go to this first inversion. So it puts the C on top. So then it sounds like this. Now that sounds like a C scale because the roots are on top. Now, when I give my students to learn the 5-1 or subdominant substitution, is to take this scale. See, I'm going to go up to a D minor, but I'm going to introduce it with an A7. That's the 5 of D, E minor. I'm going to introduce it with a B7. Then I'm going to go up a half step to F. Then I'm going to do D7 to G to E7, A minor, F sharp 7 to B, C. So all I'm doing is 5 once. C chromatic scale. Now, whenever you have a half step, you're not going to be able to do a 5-1, so you take the E minor and go straight to the F. Now, going backwards, C, B diminished. Now, when I went forward, I went, I can't, this chord, B flat, the 5 are going to be different because we're going backwards. So I'm doing the C, the B diminished. Now the next chord in the scale is A minor. I have to introduce it. So I have to introduce it with an E7 flat 5. The A minor. Next chord is going to be a G. So I'm going to introduce it with D7 goes flat 5 to a G. Next chord is an F chord, so I'm going to introduce it with a C7 flat 5 F. Now we have that half step. So next chord is a D minor, so I'm going to introduce it with an A7 flat 5. The D minor. Next chord is a C, introduce it with a G7 flat 5. So you have to remember, whatever the name of the chord is, that's how you're going to do it. If you have like a B minor 7 flat 5, what introduces B? F sharp 7. So if the chord is this, how am I going to introduce it? I'm going to go. I'm using an F sharp 7 sharp 9 because I want to have the A, okay? E is in the scale, okay? A sharp is a passing tone, and F sharp is a passing tone. So I'm going, ba, ba. But what if I call this chord a D minor 6th? Well then, my 5 chord is going to be different. It's going to be an A7. Ba, ba. You hear it? Ba, ba. Okay, if I call the chord a B half diminished, which is the same as a B minor 7 flat 5, that half diminished sign, I really think it's a lazy way of writing B minor 7 flat 5. But it's important for you to know that when you have a half diminished, that it equals a minor 7 flat 5, it equals a D minor 6. But those things are important. So if I have this B minor 7, I call it a D minor 6, I introduce it with an A7. Well, I go up a minor 3rd, introduce it with C7. That works. Go up another 3rd, E flat 9, boom, boom. Another G flat, boom, boom. And it works. So when you're improvising, and let's say the chord is coming up to this, you can play on the A7 and nobody will know it. It'll just sound like passing tones. And you got it. Now, what I didn't cover yesterday is the minor scales. So, and you know, for each minor scale, there are 3 scales. There's the minor natural, which means you're using all the notes in the related key that belong there. So if I have a C scale, the related minor is A minor. And A minor has the same key signature as the key of C. And when you're building chords, you build them off of the notes within the scale. So it would be A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor. Now, can I use 5 ones on that? Yes, you can, but you have to really think about it. Here's your A minor. This is a B diminished, so it has to be introduced with an F sharp something. So it would be an F sharp 7. Okay, that, but you need to get the E in, so it's a stretch. So you hear F sharp 7 to be diminished. See how that worked? Now the next chord is C. It's a half step, so you don't do anything. The next chord is a D minor, so we have the A7. Next chord is E minor. Put the B7 in. Next chord is what was it? F. Okay, so there was no. The next chord is G. Next chord E7. So there's your minor scale using 5/1. Now going backwards again, it's a different story. We have A minor. I have to go to G, so it has to be a D7 flat 5. C7 flat 5 to F. Half step, so there's no 5/1. To D minor, it's going to be an A7 flat 5. Okay? B diminished. Now, going to an A minor, it has to be an E7 flat 5, which is this. So it's a little different. So if you're improvising, let's say you're doing the tune Summertime, and you have 4 bars, all right? Before you get to the next chord, D minor, the change, you can introduce it with an A7, like that, or D minor, okay, F sharp 7 to D minor, and if the piano player who's ever playing chords doesn't do a 5/1, so you can do it in your playing. So they threw in that A7. So I could also put a C7. I could put an E flat 7. Yeah. So it's a very useful thing to know. You learn, you do this in every key. It's a lot of work, I know, but if you want to be a real jazz player, you have to be able to play in every key. You have to know all your key signatures. You have to know all your chords and all the related chords and all the subdominant chords. And what happens when you actually become a real pro at it, you don't even think about these things. You hear them. So the whole idea of all of this is to build up your ears. So when you're playing on a tune, you know, you can look at the A minor a whole bunch of different ways. A minor, I could think of it as a substitute. C minor, I can think of it as E flat minor. Can go back and forth, and it's a great way of playing, and it will differentiate you from other players. You'll be different, and the whole idea is to build up your ears, become a different player. Well, good luck with that. Minasi signing off.